this is Kate from Generate Magic, and today I want to talk about what happens if somebody says something to you that's upsetting in some way, like they criticize you or they insult you. And if you're into manifestation, this can be compounded because maybe you've been working on your self-concept for a long time, or you've been affirming Greg loves me, and then Greg tells you that he hates your guts. And so then this can bring up even more thoughts like I'm doing this all wrong, or the 3D reality is working against me, or just when I am in my wish fulfilled, something always comes up and knocks me out of that state. And so you can see how this can very quickly turn into a spiral. And so I want to talk about how to take these triggering moments and turn them from a foe into a friend, or at the very least into a helpful guide. And so I want to talk about something that happened to me recently that is actually pretty embarrassing. Like after it happened, I just kind of wanted to sweep it under the rug and pretend it never happened. But I feel like by talking about it, that it will be beneficial to you as well. And so it's a video that I made recently where I felt really good about the video, and then I only got one comment on it, and the comment was basically saying how I wasted their time, it was going on and on, but basically how I should just like quit. And I was really upset by this comment. And obviously I know if you put your work out in the world, like these kinds of things happen. Obviously I'm a writer, so it's not like I'm any stranger to criticism, but for some reason this really upset me. And so then I kind of asked myself why was I feeling so dispirited? And I recognized it was because part of me believed that it was true. And in fact, this person was actually mirroring thoughts that I had actually had along this journey, like thoughts that I should just quit, and thoughts that I am just wasting my time and everybody else's time. And so, but it goes a lot deeper than that. And so these are actually assumptions that I had about myself going back to childhood. And so thoughts that nothing I have to say matters, that I don't matter, that I'm worthless. And so this was really just kind of bringing up a lot of stuff. And so this shows that, so this is why you can be feeling really good and things like this can happen, right? And so it's not a sign that you're doing something wrong or that the 3D hates you. It's just revealing dominant assumptions that you're still hanging on to in some way. And so even though occasionally we'll be having like a thought or a feeling and then we'll immediately see it reflected in our reality, usually that isn't the case. And so usually it's these underlying assumptions that we've held on to for a long time. And so really you can see these moments as an opportunity to really just look them up in the light and examine them. And I thought that these were assumptions that I had let go of. And so I thought I had gotten to a point where I didn't care what anybody thought of me and that I wasn't defining my worth by external validation or outside circumstances. But this came up to show me that that wasn't completely the case. And so then once you recognize these assumptions that you've been holding on to, now is your opportunity to ask yourself, like, are these assumptions that I would like to continue holding on to? And obviously in my case, the answer was no. And so then what are some more empowering assumptions that you would like to replace them with? And so for me, it was I matter, I am valued, I am making an impact. And so you can see how these assumptions are so much more empowering than those old assumptions, right? And thoughts of I should just give up and go home. And so you can also see how this goes a lot deeper than just general self-concept work. So this is really working specifically with the assumptions that are still holding you back in some way. And also just kind of a reminder that you define your worth, right? And if you're looking for your worth in outside, accomplishments or praise or external validation, it's just going to be an exhausting and fruitless chase. And whatever it is that you're seeking, whether, I think deep down we all want love, right? That's really like what's, I think, at the core of all of these desires. But you have to give it to yourself first. And so this was just a reminder to me that even though I knew all of these things intellectually, I wasn't fully embodying them. And this was an opportunity to start embodying these things more fully, right? And start really grounding myself in these new assumptions that I would like to be my dominant assumptions moving forward. And I'm just going to glance at my notes just to make sure that I am covering everything. And so to me, the true test is not whether the outside reality is reflecting whatever it is that you're working on, right, as your assumption. And so the test isn't Greg telling you that he loves you or your supporters telling you how amazing you are. The true test is how you react to these things, right? How you see these things and how you choose to interpret these things. And so you keep moving forward, and can you keep moving forward in the conviction that this is going to happen no matter whatever it is that that you desire, and in the conviction, in my case, that I am worthy, that I am loved, that I am valued, no matter what's happening on the outside. And when these moments come up again, you don't let it rattle you, you don't let it trigger you, and instead you just look at it very calmly and say, okay, well, this might be one person's opinion, but that doesn't make it, I don't have to take that on as my truth. And so if Greg is, if Greg tells you he hates you, you could think, well, okay, I know the truth, and I know that eventually Greg is going to pull his head out of his ass and recognize how amazing I am. And if he doesn't, that's his loss, not mine. And also, I've talked about this before, sometimes other people will kind of say things that may, if you're not feeling fully grounded in your conviction, they may put you into a state of doubt. And so, for instance, when I wasn't in a committed relationship, my mom said, well, I don't think it's true love. And, you might have very well-meaning friends and family saying things like that, right? Like, oh, this person doesn't deserve you, you deserve better, you should just give up and, find somebody new, and things like that, right? And in the past, like a comment like that would have really upset me. But in this case, I was just very calm because I knew the truth, I knew what was unfolding. And so I just smiled, like internally and externally. And so that is the true test, is in seeing how grounded in your conviction and in your assumption you are. It's not what's happening on the outside, but rather it's what's happening on the inside, right? And how are you responding to these situations? And so that's why when these triggering moments come up, you can really kind of see it as an opportunity, right? Like if you still feel it yourself getting upset, saying, okay, what assumptions am I still hanging on to? And what assumptions would I like to replace them with? And so really we can treat all these moments as an opportunity, right? And so when somebody upsets you or an event upsets you, right? Kind of ask yourself, well, why do you feel that way, right? And what are you making it mean about you? And then what would you like to be true about you? Or what would you like to be true about the situation? And focus on that being your dominant assumption moving forward. And just remember at the end of the day that you define your worth. Don't let anybody else do it for you. And even if your whole life you believed that you're unlovable and that you'll never amount to anything, today is the day to turn it all around. And so with that, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments if you've had a moment like this, like recently, or just kind of how this resonated with you. And if you have any questions, I'd love to give you feedback, and you can always reach out to me personally as well. All the information is in the description. So again, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.